All right, today we are diving deep into Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power. It's one of those books that's both controversial and, you can't deny it, incredibly influential. We're going to grab one of its most provocative laws and really pull it apart, because it challenges everything we think we know about genius and hard work.
So let me start by asking you this. When you picture a huge discovery or a true masterpiece, what's the first image that pops into your head?
Is it something like this? You know, the lone genius, locked away in a lab or a study, just creating something brilliant out of thin air. It's a really powerful and romantic idea, right? But Robert Greene, he argues that it's mostly a myth. He says the real way to get power and achieve something massive often involves a totally different and, a much more ruthless strategy.
And that brings us right to the heart of what we're talking about today. We are about to pull back the curtain on a hidden lever of power, one that really messes with our whole idea of individual achievement. We're talking about law number 7.
Okay, so this is the one. It's a principle that's so direct, so completely unapologetic, that it can make you a little uncomfortable. So get ready.
And there you have it. Just laid out there, plain as day. Get others to do the work for you, but always take the credit.
Wow. I mean, it feels like something you're not even supposed to say out loud, but Greene puts it out there as a fundamental tool for anyone who wants to get big things done and get them done efficiently.
Now, to be clear, this isn't just about being lazy. Not at all. It's a calculated move. It's all about realizing that your time and your energy are your most valuable and finite resources. So why would you start from absolute zero when you can build on the work that other people have already put in? The whole goal here is to use their labor, their knowledge, to get where you're going faster.
And look, you might think this is some kind of modern, cynical business school idea, but it's not. Greene argues this very principle has been used by some of the most famous and respected people in history. They just understood that progress is always built on what came before.
I mean, just take Isaac Newton's famous line here. He flat out admitted that his mind-blowing discoveries were only possible because he was building on the work of all the people who came before him. When you think about it, that's Law 7 in its most elegant form.
The stuff goes way back. Newton's genius wasn't just inventing things out of nowhere, it was synthesis. He took what earlier scientists had figured out and pushed it to the next level. And Shakespeare, maybe the greatest writer of all time, he borrowed constantly from existing stories and histories. He didn't come up with the plots for Julius Caesar or Antony and Cleopatra. He took the raw material that was already there and made it perfect.
So according to Greene, what's the payoff? Well, he says it's basically threefold. First, the obvious one. You save your own time and energy. Second, you start to look unbelievably fast and efficient, which creates this kind of aura around you, like you have superhuman talent. And third, and this is the really ruthless part, history tends to remember the person who puts it all together at the end, not necessarily every single person who helped along the way.
Now, to really hammer this idea home, Greene uses this really striking image from the animal kingdom. It's a metaphor that is just as efficient and just as brutal as the law itself.
The vulture. Yeah, that's the metaphor for Law 7. And it's meant to be unsettling. Think about it. A vulture doesn't hunt. It just waits for other animals to do all the hard, dangerous work of the hunt, and then it swoops in and reaps the rewards. It literally thrives on the work and even the failures of others. It's a grim picture, for sure, but man, is it a powerful illustration of this principle.
So, of course, this brings us to the biggest, most obvious problem with this law. There is an incredibly fine line here, right? When does being a clever strategist cross over into just being a thief?
And believe me, this is not a new debate. All the way back in the 17th century, the strategist Balthasar Gracian pointed out the very same thing. You can build this amazing reputation for being a genius, an oracle, just by being really good at using the work and sweat of other people. The question of whether that's fair has been around forever.
So it really all boils down to this, doesn't it? On one side, you have leverage and efficiency. On the other, you have plagiarism and exploitation. Where's the line? The law itself doesn't make a moral judgment. It just shows you how the dynamic works in the world of power.
And that really leaves us with a final question for you to think about. In our world today, with open source everything, with endless content online, with collaborative projects, those shoulders of giants are literally everywhere. The chance to build on what others have done has never, ever been bigger. But that also means the ethical lines have never been blurrier. So where do you draw the line between standing on the shoulders of giants and just taking what isn't yours?